Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. Now I got a little bit of egg on my face because the last video I put up, I was predicting that Alexa Bliss was going to go over Charlotte Flair at Extreme Rules and become the new Raw Women's Champion. And of course, that didn't happen. What we actually saw was the Queen go over Alexa Bliss and destroy her Lilly doll. And that of course made Alexa Bliss very angry, very upset, humiliated, distraught. And the last image we saw is her holding literally just the face left of Lilly, which, by the way, I think is a little Easter egg of things to come. So that prediction was completely wrong, and as I said, egg on the face. You can't get all the predictions right. However, I did get the Hurt Business getting back together right, and also I can honestly see Naomi getting closer to joining the Bloodline and turning heel. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Anyway, enough about that, on to Alexa Bliss. Now, as soon as we saw the implosion of Lilly and Alexa Bliss losing to Charlotte Flair, speculation straight away was surrounding she's going to return to her goddess gimmick. Because after all, that's what Charlotte Flair wants, that's who she wants to fight, and she made a point of basically mentioning that that was who she was wrestling at certain points during the match, and that's who she wants to see in the future. Now, granted, there are lots of WWE fans that want to bring back the goddess gimmick. Many want to see that. I mean, she, in that gimmick, was a 5-time women's champion and 2 times tag team champion. Dominant in her current gimmick, 0 titles. So, you can understand why people want to bring that back, that snotty-nosed heel version of Alexa Bliss, because it was extremely over. However, there are 2 reasons why I don't think WWE are actually going to do that. Whether WWE actually have a concrete 100% full-on plan at the moment remains to be seen. However, the first reason why I don't see them doing it is purely and simply merchandise. Now, if rumours are true, Alexa Bliss is moving the most merchandise amongst the female roster. They're selling a lot of Lilly dolls and merchandise relating to her current gimmick. So why would they give that up? Business is business. If they're moving merch, why would they kill that? Doesn't make any sense. Also, secondly, why would you bring back an old gimmick that's already been replayed? Now, in order for superstars to evolve, they need to change their gimmick. Well, at least if it's not working, the current one, mix it up. Certainly don't revert back to an old gimmick. And I'll give you an example. Bayley. When she was running that hugger gimmick, it went really, really well. It was massively over and it got to a point where it got a little bit stale. You remember when she came out of that injury that time and the crowd literally booed her full on, and she was a face at the time. And many thought there's no way you can turn Bayley heel. And that was one of the best moves WWE ever made, because Bayley was awesome as a heel, arguably better than her baby face version of the hugger gimmick. So she reinvented herself, came back as something new. It's like now going, let's bring Bayley back to the hugger gimmick. Wouldn't make sense. And just as it wouldn't make any sense bringing Alexa Bliss back to the goddess gimmick. Now, I thought there'd be a time where they were going to have to be forced to move to that gimmick. And I did do a video several months ago about WWE potentially doing that. And I thought purely that would just be because they don't want to have too much likeness to the Fiend gimmick, which is pretty much what many people were saying her current one was a carbon copy of. So I thought they'd be forced to go back to the goddess gimmick. However, I don't think it's had such a backlash, this current gimmick, as they thought it was going to have. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it and want to see the goddess come back, but a lot of people want to see this gimmick continue. So, current rumours are going around that Alexa Bliss is actually going to be taking a little bit of time off. Now, this could be 2 weeks, this could be 2 months, this could be up until the Royal Rumble. We don't actually know at this point. And she's recently posted a really cryptic message as an Einstein quote, basically saying that energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred to another form. Now, this could be suggesting that the entity that was haunting the Lilly doll is now going to transfer to a human form, which could be Alexa herself. Now, I'm game for that. I'm up for that. I think certainly if they're moving merchandise and then they've got something new, it will work. However, if they're going to go down a darker, more evil, more sinister route and version of Alexa Bliss, it can't be too alike to the Fiend. So I don't think it's going to be a mask. It shouldn't be a mask. Why would you cover up Alexa's face in the first place? Her facial expressions are gold. She's such a good actress, like she really is, and why would you take away one of the shining highlights from her as a performer, her facial expressions, her acting, and the way she can manipulate those expressions? So I think if they do go down a darker route, it could literally be a painted version of the Lilly doll on her face, so like she can still have those expressions. If they go down the route of having the Lilly doll mask version, for example, and then they have like the goddess gimmick, which is like the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray, and then the Fiend being the Lilly doll version, too alike to the Fiend and Bray Wyatt gimmick. And if Bray Wyatt is out of WWE, they do not want to attach themselves too much to that gimmick because they will get slated. Which is why I don't think they'll go to a masked version, sinister version. I think it would be a painted mask version, if that makes sense. I can see that being the way that they go. And at the moment, I think it's clear to say WWE actually don't have a concrete plan, because I think having Alexa away and off TV, if that's where they're going with this, which it seems to be, I think it's their time to reset. We know we've got the draft coming up as well, and I think they can analyse, look at merchandise sales, look at what the fans want, reshuffle a little bit, and come up with something new. If you come back to the goddess gimmick, we've seen that before. Yes, we know it works, and people will love it within the first 6 months, and then people will start to react negatively. I could see that happening over time, because it's the same thing. You're not reinventing yourself and doing something new. So, remains to be seen. What do you think? What would you like to see from Alexa Bliss? What do you see WWE doing? Do you actually think they've got a plan at their sleeve? Or do you think they're sort of blagging it as they go along? What would you like to see? Be really interested to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. As always, be amazing if you could like the video, share the video, even better if you subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in another video.